Ethiopia, a country located at the Horn of Africa, has been characterized in the recent years by its growth. Next to an ongoing economical growth, the numbers of citizens living in this country increases rapidly. Around 4 million people are living in the capital city Addis Ababa today, approximately 100 millions in the whole country. The majority of the population lives from agriculture. Thomas Schäuber, founder and chairman of Support Ethiopia, visited the country for the first time in 2014. He spent 5 weeks with a local family in the countryside, 250 kilometers south from Addis Ababa, in the regional state Oromia, and experienced the hardness of a daily local life at first hand.
You live on soiled dirt. You live in the same house with animals around the fire, eating with your hands, having no running water, no electricity, going to the river to wash yourself and your clothes and everything. So it's a very, very basic life, and it takes out all this lifestyle we have here in Europe, I would say, because it's a completely different way of living. You're not planning ahead like a year or not even a week, because it doesn't make sense. You're really living in the day. You live with the daylight, with the sun, and yeah, you just kind of wait for what's coming. You're not always planning. You don't have your calendar out and, I don't know, making appointments all the time. What really impacts them in their everyday life is the bonfire. As basic as it sounds, but this fire is burning day in, day out. And in Europe, when you're heating your house with wood, which of course happens, you dry it before you burn it. In Ethiopia, you collect it whenever you need it, but not before. So it's always red, it's always smoking, and it's just a totally different approach, because they don't have this culture of really storing things and making them last. I kind of think it's maybe related to the 4 seasons. In Europe it gets really cold in winter. If you don't preserve your food and collect firewood before the big snow is coming, then in former days you would have died. In Ethiopia, yes, you have different seasons, but not as extreme, not these cold winters. So I think they just, they never had this making things last and preserving food in the way that we did in Europe.
Continuous water supply is still a major problem, especially in the countryside. The voluntary NGO Support Ethiopia was founded in 2015 in Vienna and focuses on the construction of water cisterns. To establish these, they work closely together with the population of the region, which is necessary to improve living conditions on a long term.
In rain season, it rains like crazy. The problem is not that they don't have water, but they cannot store it. They cannot catch it from the roof, you know. So they wait until it stops raining, and then they go to the river to fetch water. So it's really just before their eyes, it's it's running down there, and you just have to have a rain gutter, a water tank, and then you could make them stop to go to the river like that often. It's not drinking water from the roof, but you can use it for cleaning, for washing, for maybe even some parts of cooking. So taking a shower, you know, it's good enough. And it's basically just a big hole dug into the ground by themselves, and then just big concrete stone walls put on each side. They're completely sealed, so no light can go in, no dirt can fall in, and with the pump you can just take the water out again. And we built these cisterns by schools because people have access there. Nobody can kind of stop them from getting that water. We don't want to just give them a cistern or a water tank. We say you have to build it yourself, and we will support you doing that. Because after all, in the end they have to use it. They have to know how to use it right, what it is, what to use it for, you know, really basic things. But if you just put it there, they will never touch it. It has to be theirs. They have to feel that sense of ownership. And they do when they build it themselves.
4 cisterns had been already built, and 14 more shall be finished until 2020. One cistern supplies around 750 families with water. Support Ethiopia works closely with the local NGO HEFTA together. HEFTA stands for Harmony Education for Development Association. The NGO focuses on topics like family planning, health, reforestation programs, and women empowerment. Professionals of different subject fields engage themselves at HEFTA. But to guarantee a long-term change, a change of mind within the population is needed. And this goes along with education and clarification.
Something called community activators, which these are people over there in Ethiopia, and the target is to activate the community to dig the holes or to be part of our project, to help us help them.
We have an environmental leadership program, it's called, where we work basically with teachers, religious leaders, community leaders, so people who have a very high influence on their communities.
And who are close to the school environment, like teachers.
Exactly, and also the reforestation project, it starts in schools, so this is also the environment where we want to do this, to show them the importance of reforestation and of water.
Support Ethiopia has been working with us on supplying access to clean water through construction of 4 cisterns and distribution of 8 water tankers. This has given the opportunity to our community to get access to clean water. And currently we have signed a new project that will work on sustainable natural resource management and supply of clean water to the families and girls' empowerment.
In Vienna, Support Ethiopia is very active to spread their actions, achievements and goals to others. They hold information gatherings where everyone with an interest can be a part of. Next to it, different sport and social events are being held, not only for collecting donations, but also for public relation reasons. Concerts, flea markets, beach volleyball tournaments or charity runs are only a few activities Support Ethiopia organizes. The result? New enthusiastic activists being found.
We really want to engage, and if you want to organize your own event, there are a lot of possibilities for you. You just have to get started and you can do whatever you want basically, and we will just try to support you in the basics and try to give you whatever resources you need.
If you have an idea of an event, you can just come to us, we talk about it and we do the event. It's very fast, very, like, we don't have to change a lot to do something.
kurz aufwärmen. Da möchte noch jemand aufwärmen. Bist du nicht schon gelaufen? Nein, okay. Und jetzt Arme und Beine. Und jetzt das Knie hochschwingen. Den zweiten startet die nächste Runde. Wer möchte noch dazu kommen? 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 und go!
I'm that fly that you get on, international. First I see it on my lap, girl, right and comfortable. Cause I know what the girls I need, London to Haiti. I got lipstick stamps on my passport, that make it hard to leave. Been around the world, don't speak the language, but shoot it, don't need explaining. All I really need to understand is when you talk dirty to me. You know the words to my songs, no habla English. Our conversations ain't long, but you know what is. Cause I know what the girl done want, London to Taiwan. I got lipstick stamps on my passport, I think I need a new one. Been around the world, don't speak the language, but you don't need explaining. No, what I really need to understand is when you talk dirty to me. I met a friend in Rio, when she was out on Rio, we came in nice at Rio. Been around the world, don't speak the language, but you don't need explaining. No, what I really need to understand is when you talk dirty to me. Dankeschön.
Many water springs dry out because of the deforestation. The so-worn soil is quickly worn out for pasturage, and new wood regions are being cut down. Therefore, reforestation programs play a major issue in both NGOs, Support Ethiopia and HEFTA. The seedlings are kept in so-called tree nurseries, and as soon as they reached a certain growth, are being located in the country region. Support Ethiopia only replant indigenous trees.
We're only focusing on springs that are far up the mountains, where there's no agricultural activity above them, so we can be sure that they're clean. And that's the problem, because these kind of springs and springs in general are disappearing right now really fast, just because they cut down the forest so fast.
So we have a planned number of 40,000 trees in total. So we started now with some indigenous trees, and yeah, within the next 2 years, I think they will just start to plant the seeds, and yeah.
They will now they're in a safe environment where they can grow, and after that they will replant it.
If you just plant a tree and say you need it, they say yes for the bonfire maybe, and they will cut it down again. But if they see this long-term need and this long-term benefit that tree can supply by making sure the land is fertile so the animals find grass to feed on, by supplying water through springs, etc., I'm very hopeful that these people will actually not only accept these forest programs, but also take care of them.
We met a lot of young people at events of Support Ethiopia. To combine a social engagement with an activity of pleasure suits many of them.
A lot of young people are very motivated to donate, so they want to donate, they want to change something, but they want to be motivated to do it. So for example, if they do it with something they like, if they do it with practicing yoga, or if they can combine it with practicing beach volleyball, then they are even more motivated to donate than they would have been before, just to donate on like just give somebody 10 euros for something. So our board members organize monthly meetings where also new people can come and join us and see how we work and what we do, and we explain a little bit about our work in Ethiopia, but also about our work in Austria, and then people can say, okay, I'm really interested in social media, for example, can I join your social media team? And we are very happy to introduce them to our work and to show them what they can do. And then basically people bring in their own ideas. So for example, they say, okay, know so many yogis, and I would love to organize a yoga event. And we're like, okay, that's great. You can just here we have the infrastructure. We can give you our community, for example. Tell us what you need, and then we help them organizing it. And this is like basically how it goes on. So, and this is also how new board members join us, because they can start their own thing.
Sarah Ticher teaches yoga for many years. She wanted to invest a part of her income in a social project and have a positive impact on others who got not so lucky.
It's very broad. You know, it's not only one thing. What I teach or what I do is not the only thing and the most definite form of yoga. Everybody can do it a bit differently. There are so many different styles. So I think that's the beauty of it, that there's something for everyone.
She gives yoga courses on a daily basis, so I think she has like probably 5 to 10 classes per week, and 20% of her incomes go directly to support Ethiopia, which is great.
Besides this, I wanted to, contribute further, not only in Vienna, but make something or have an impact somewhere further away. So also third party can profit from our yoga sessions.
Members of Support Ethiopia who visited the country made different experiences. Some of them got approached by a very demanding attitude of the locals. Quickly wishes and expectations were expressed towards the rich Europeans who should take care of any and all matters.
Most of the people were very nice, but they were very demanding. So, for example, we went to a school where we already built a cistern, just to check the cistern. And then the teachers came and were like, okay, so we need schools and we need this and that. And so they already had their list of what else they need, although they didn't even take care of the cistern properly. So they were demanding a lot, because through development aid, how it used to work before, they were used to getting basically everything what they demanded. All the organization have to change their way of communicating and their way of dealing, and also their way of giving money.
One of the things I really tried to bring back home, to really kind of have a lesson learned for myself, is the hospitality. Wherever I went, they were invited for a drink, for food, even though they didn't have much for themselves. If it was just bread, they had to offer me something. And then they explained to me, in Ethiopia, if you want to demonstrate or show people how rich you are, you gotta buy yourself a big shelf kind of thing. And there you put plates, cups, cutlery, all these kind of things. And I'm like, okay, like, how is that wealth, And they said, like, if you're wealthy, you're able to invite a lot of people over to dinner. I was just deeply impressed that wealth there means being able to invite many people. I thought that's really beautiful.